Thanks for stopping by my channel. Today I'm sharing my latest Halloween project for the Brutus Monroe Inspiration Team. This video shows all the different steps of my process, from how I created the background to assembling all the layers. I'll also talk about all the amazing Brutus Monroe products I used to create this. First, I started off with a piece of Not Your Mama's 130-pound cardstock. This cardstock is perfect for using different wet mediums because it'll really hold up to what you're putting on the paper. Chroma Mist are highly pigmented sprays that give you a rich, dense layer of color, and they come in various shades, both metallic and matte. They make it super easy to create quick, beautiful backgrounds for your projects. I started this background by spraying blue, violet, turquoise, and yellow-green Chroma Mist onto Not Your Mama's cardstock. You can see how well this cardstock is holding up to the layers of saturation created by all the different colors of the sprays. Once all my colors are down, I'm going to take an old paper towel and just dab off any excess pools of color. One of the awesome things about the Chroma Mist sprays is they'll react differently depending on what type of surface you spray it on. So I recommend having some fun and experimenting with different types of media to see what kind of unique looks you can come up with. Next, I shaded the edges and some lighter areas with Twisted Citron Distress ink. Once I've built up the rich tones of that background, I take the circle tone stencil and I place it in the top right corner. I had already sprayed this with pixie spray, so it stuck right on there and doesn't move when I'm trying to use my glaze. This is Glitter Glaze in Galaxy. It gives a nice iridescent color while maintaining a dark base. I give it a mix and smear it on with my palette knife. Then I flip it around and I fill in the other corner. Next, I'm going to use Raven Detail ink to stamp one of the characters from the Spooky Kids stamp set onto Perfect Blend alcohol marker cardstock. I always clean my stamps and surfaces and pretty much everything in my craft room with Squeaky Clean. Next is my favorite part, coloring. I started off with Frankenstein's skin using YG9, YG7, and YG6. My preferred way to work with Copics is to lay down the darkest color first and then work my way out to the lightest. Next, I get to work on his jacket with V17, V15, and V12. Once I finished his jacket, it wasn't as dark as I had wanted it, so I went back over the whole thing with V15. Next, I work on his pants using cool grays C10, C7, and C5. For the hair, I use warm grays W7, W5, and W4. I color his undershirt with G29, G28, and G85. At this point, I felt like his skin was a little bit too glowy and kind of bright, so I went over all of his skin with YG61 just to take it down a tone. Next, I fill in his mouth with R39 and his tongue with R35. Here I'm filling a little green in on his eyes with YG99. Then I add in a teeny bit of shading on his eyeballs with N1 and the Colorless blender. Here are all the elements to put my card together. I'm using Raven cardstock to put a base onto a mini slimline card. Next, I'm putting on the background that I created with the Chroma Mist, the Galaxy Glitter Glaze, and the Stencil on the Not Your Mama's cardstock. To make the Frankenstein element, first I took the die cut from the Spooky Kids stamp set and I die cut him in toner paper and ran him through the laminator with some lime green foiling. Then I took the colored Frankenstein that we colored earlier in the video, I fussy cut him, and then I used a dark marker and ran around the edges to finish it off, and then glued him onto the foiled background die cut. This pattern paper is from the Happy Hauntings 6x6 paper pack. I glued the pattern paper onto a strip of Raven cardstock. Here I'm putting Frankenstein down for placement so I can start gluing on my die cut letters. These letters were also die cut on toner paper and then ran through the laminator with the lime green foil. The Happy die cut was cut from a set called Christopher's Sentiments, and I used Brutus Monroe Glitterstock. For the shadow layer, I used Black Raven. Frankenstein and the Happy Sentiment were adhered to the card with foam adhesive just to give it a little bit of dimension. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. If you like this, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Below I've listed all the info on everything I used, including a list of Copic Colors and my affiliate links for you to shop at no extra cost to you.